So what we're going to do today is flowchart and pseudocode for a program. And I give you the specs for the program. I tell you what it's supposed to do. And it seems to me like we may have even done a script like this back at the very beginning of class. Not sure. Maybe it was long enough ago that it'll seem new. So go to inbox queue. And I pretty much want y'all to work on this by yourself. I'll wander around and help. If you have any questions, raise your hand. If you want to do your flowchart on paper rather than on the computer, that's okay. We can rate the machine over there, or you can use notebook paper or whatever. Of course, it's prettier on the computer, but I don't want you to waste your entire time making it, On the other hand, if all you have is pen, doing it on the computer is better, because flowcharting in pen is kind of a drag. Make mistakes, you have to scribble them out and whatever. All right, paycheck. Time and a half program. Draw a flowchart for a program that will calculate the total pay for an employee based on their hourly salary and the hours worked. Then write pseudocode for the program. You can reverse these steps if you like. A lot of people would rather do pseudocode than a flowchart. I do want you to generate the flowchart. The idea is to do both. You can get the logic straight in your head by doing one and then doing the other, whichever way your brain works. So an example of pseudocode, actually two examples, is shown on page 2. The requirements: ask the user for their hourly salary and the hours worked. Then the calculation. You're probably familiar with time and a half calculation. In time and a half, you get a base pay, which is the number of hours worked times the hourly wage. And then, if you work more than 40 hours, you get a bonus based on those additional hours times 1.5, thus time and a half, times the hourly wage. And then the total is those two things plus put together. So the output: the program will display the base pay for the week. The program should display the base pay, and if there's a bonus, the program should also display that and the total. So here's a sample run. Please input hours worked this week, 10. Please input hourly wage, 10. Base pay, 100. Sample input and output number 2. Please input hours, 50. Please input hourly wage, 10. Base pay, 500, 50 times 10. Overtime bonus, 150. Hope I calculated that right. Yeah, because 10 times 1.5 is 15, times 10 is 150. Total pay is 650. Doesn't have to look exactly like this, but I want the functionality to be pretty similar. Bonus credit. I don't want you to focus on this, to the exclusion of doing the first part of it, doing a good job in the first part. For extra credit, include a function or two. We've done functions, We did that ask function. We've done draw circle functions and stuff like that. So include a function or two in your design, but not the ask function that we've used previously. There's no reason for that. For example, you might put the payroll calculations in functions. Here's a couple examples. Calculate base pay and calculate bonus. But don't get stuck on doing this. I'd rather you do a good job on the core assignment than do a bad job. I'd rather you do a good job than a bad job because you attempted the extra credit. A good approach might be to finish the core assignment and then do the extra credit as another flowchart in pseudocode. And on computers it's pretty easy. You do a save, then you type in the extra stuff and you do a save as or whatever. So here's sample pseudocode for 2 problems. One is calculating the radius of a circle, and the other is calculating the radius of a circle using a function. And that's just an example because we haven't really written much pseudocode in this class. We've been concentrating more on flowcharts and pseudocode. The thing to note about pseudocodes is that it's not a programming language. You don't have to put colons and parentheses and stuff. You can make it look kind of like Python, but don't get hung up on exact syntaxes. Output, enter a radius. Input the radius. If radius is less than 0, then output invalid radius. This is just an example. You're not supposed to do anything with this. If, else, whatever. And here's an example of doing pseudocode with a function. I went ahead and used the def keyword since we're used to that in Python. Calculate the area and return it, and then use that in the base program between the start and the stop. All right. Hope that's pretty clear. Hope it doesn't look scary. If you want to do it on paper, like I said, notebook, or we can grab some sheets of paper out of the machine over there. I will wander around and help. Mostly like for y'all to do it by yourselves, but you know, y'all can help each other too, but don't just copy what your neighbor's doing. We'd rather do it on paper. Nobody? Excellent. I'm going to turn off the screen so I can draw my own flow chart.